Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Health, Wellness, and Wellbeing Hour, live on Churchill Community Radio, the radio station that keeps you connected. And I'm your host this afternoon, Charles Olorunfemi. And as always, it's a real pleasure having you join us to be with us for another edition of this program. The program where we enhance health literacy, address health inequalities, and promote quality health for all. We also explore the conversations that really matter to our health, our well being, our communities, and the way we live. And I would like to begin today's show by asking you a simple but very important question. Are you giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to reflect, and seek support when you need it? And I'm going to repeat that. Are you giving yourself permission to pause, breathe, reflect, and seek support when you need it? Because sometimes we move through life so quickly that we do not stop long enough to check what is really happening with us. So I'm going to ask another set of questions, and I invite you to answer them honestly within yourself, not with judgments, not with pressure, but with care. And the first question is, how are you feeling in your body today? How is your mind feeling? How are you feeling spiritually? How is your emotional well-being? And how are you coping with all of those things that you may be carrying quietly? Now, these questions, I think they really matter because they help us to notice what we may have been ignoring. And once we can answer these questions honestly, the next step then is to use that awareness to make the necessary adjustments needed to improve our overall health and well-being. And for some folks, that might mean getting more rest, or maybe speaking to someone that you trust, or booking that appointment that you've been delaying, or maybe setting better boundaries, or reducing stress where possible, or it could be reconnecting with your faith or your spiritual practice, or maybe just asking for practical help, or simply giving yourself permission not to carry all of that weight alone. The key thing here is that do not just check in with yourself and then continue as normal, especially if there's something that really needs attention. So, folks, please listen to what your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit are telling you, and take one small practical step towards better health. Now, because health is not just about those appointments or your medication or diagnoses or physical symptoms. Health is also about managing life. How are you processing stress? How connected or isolated do you feel? How safe do you feel to speak honestly? And whether we feel seen and supported in the spaces that we occupy. So please, folks, do take the necessary actions. Use that awareness to improve your overall well-being. So now, as we continue to observe Mental Health Awareness Month, it's important that we use this moment not just to repeat the phrase that mental health matters, not just to repeat that, but to really think about what that really means in everyday life. Mental health affects how we think, how we feel, how we cope, how we relate to others, how we make decisions, how we handle pressure and navigate the world around us. And yet, for many folks, mental health is still something that they feel that they have to hide, especially if they're struggling. Too many people are struggling in silence because they fear being judged, being misunderstood, dismissed, labeled, or just being treated differently. And that silence can be heavy, it can be damaging. And sometimes you see some certain folks who are struggling the most, but they are the ones who appear to be functioning well. They might be going to work, looking after their families, turning up for others, smiling in public, and carrying private battles that very few people know about. And that's why mental health awareness, that's why it needs to go beyond slogans. It must help us to build, to understand. It helps us to challenge stigma. It helps families, workplaces, faith spaces, community spaces, and services to respond with more compassion, more knowledge, and less judgment. And today, on today's show, we are going to focus on one particular area of mental health that is often misunderstood, and that is bipolar disorder. Now, for some people, bipolar is wrongly reduced to mood swings or just being up and down. But the reality is much deeper than that. Bipolar can affect a person's mood, energy, sleep, thinking, behavior, relationships, work, identity, and basically just their daily life. It can involve periods of depression as well as episodes of mania. And for the person living with it, the experience can be complex, exhausting, confusing, and really just deeply personal. But it's important that we remember that behind every diagnosis, there's a human being, a person with a story, a person with hopes, a person with talents, a person with family, work, dreams, fears, and the need to be understood beyond a label. And when we look at it now through the lens of the Black community, the conversation becomes even more important. Because for many folks, mental health can still be surrounded by stigma, silence, shame, cultural misunderstanding, pressure to be strong, and the fear of speaking openly. And these barriers, they can delay support, they can increase isolation and make people feel that they have to suffer privately. So today's conversation, folks, is not just about bipolar as a condition. It's about understanding, it's about lived experience, it's about culture, stigma, identity, support, safe spaces, and what it really means to be seen and heard. So I've tagged today's show Understanding Bipolar Through Lived Experience. And I'm really pleased to welcome a very special guest, a very passionate community health champion, mental health advocate, and founder of Black and Bipolar Collective, Georgina Bobb. Good afternoon, Georgina, and thank you so much for taking time out to join us on the Health, Wellness, and Wellbeing Hour.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Can I say something?
Yes,
What
please.
an amazing introduction.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
you're so knowledgeable about the condition, and I can hear your
Mm,
passion
mm.
regarding health within the Black space.
Mm, mm,
So I
mm.
have to say, like, big up to you because
Thank you
you're
so
just
much.
amazing. So
Thank you so much.
thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So, but before we proceed, let me just quickly say this: that so Georgina is a mental health advocate and the founder of Black and Bipolar Collective,
Yeah,
a community-led platform creating safe, culturally relevant spaces for Black individuals living with bipolar.
yeah.
Her work is rooted in real talk, support, community, and lived experience. And folks, so for everyone listening, we will be exploring her personal journey, what bipolar can feel like beyond the stereotypes, why conversations around mental health can be particularly difficult in Black communities, and why safe spaces like Black and Bipolar Collective are so needed. So, wherever you're listening from today, I do invite you to stay with us, listen with an open mind and an open heart, and just maybe even think about someone in your life who might need more understanding, or maybe more patience, or maybe more support. So, yeah, so Georgina, thank you so much, and you're welcome onto the show.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
so let me start off by saying, so for those hearing you for the very first time,
Yeah.
please tell us a bit more about yourself and the journey that has brought you to do this work.
Okay, so my name's Georgina Bobb. I have been very active within the mental health space very recently. However, before that, in about 2019, I was actually awarded for my services to the creative industries and my mental health advocacy work. So I've got 18 years of experience working predominantly within the broadcasting space.
Mm.
So I am like a production manager, but
Okay.
more recently I've moved over, so I've shimmied over into the art space. So I'm very well known within the media and
Mm.
arts
Mm.
community.
Mm. Mm.
In terms of bipolar and the condition,
Yeah.
now that's a very long story, and
Mm.
I hope you guys have got time to hear it.
Yes, we do.
So, so in like 2012, that
Mm.
was when I was diagnosed with
Okay.
bipolar. And growing up, I had quite a stable childhood-ish between the ages of 7 to 14.
Mm.
So I grew up in a loving family, loving household, very
Mm.
stable and great.
Mm. Mm.
However, before the age of 7 and after the age of 14, things were very they weren't as stable, you know? It was very a lot of trauma and
Mhm.
stress and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And I believe the mixture of, you know, the stability and the non-stability
Mm.
did affect the reason why I'm actually diagnosed.
Mm.
However, when I was diagnosed in 2012, I actually had a public episode of psychosis, unfortunately,
Mm.
and therefore led to hospitalization. So when that happened, it was like a huge turning point for me.
Yeah.
Um, it was just something that I knew there was something wrong, but I just didn't know how to get the help before
Mm.
that.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I was
Mm.
kind of going on with life and stuff like that. But then
Mm.
also, I also had family members in my family who had mental health diagnoses too.
Mhm.
So my nan, who's now passed away, but she had manic depression, which is the term for bipolar now.
Okay.
She was diagnosed with a manic depression. So she used to be treated with electroconvulsive therapy very often,
Mm.
and she was in and
Mm.
out of hospital a lot.
Mm. Mm.
And then I had my uncle on my dad's side. He also was diagnosed bipolar, and God rest his soul, he actually, trigger warning, died and committed suicide.
Oh.
And then I've got another uncle who has schizophrenia. So mental health is very kind of like prevalent within my family.
Mhm. Mhm.
However, I'm very, very, very passionate about changing the stereotype, you know, stopping stigma.
Yeah.
And stigma
Yeah.
isn't just about other people's, you know, viewpoints. It's
Mhm.
also about your own, like, how do you see yourself? Because
Absolutely.
culturally, you can be like, okay, you know, mental health is seen as bad and X, Y, and Z. But
Mm.
then when you look at things, it's like, how do you feel about mental health? You might have a condition or you might be battling, but you might think, oh no. So it's about you changing the thought process
Mm.
and how you feel about yourself and the condition within you as well.
Yeah.
I'm mixed race, so
Mm.
I'm half black, half white. However,
Mm.
I'm very much in touch with my black culture as
Mhm.
well as my white culture. But
Mm.
I thought that
Mm.
it would be a good idea for me to create something, the Black and Bipolar Collective, which is a community group for people
Mm.
who are black and bipolar, because
Mm. Mm.
statistically, black people are more they have less support when it comes to seeking help within their mental health. So I thought, well, you know, it would be really nice for Black people who have bipolar or experience with bipolar or look after people with bipolar or even allies to come together and just discuss how the condition is affecting them,
Mm.
how to relate to each other and stuff like that. So yeah, I that was born very recently. I went to a event. A lovely, lovely, amazing Queen lady called Leah Charles King, who's a television presenter on
Okay.
Channel 4's A Place in the Sun.
Mm.
She's actually got bipolar, and she's an ambassador for Bipolar UK.
Okay.
Good friend of mine through social media, and she invited me to her book launch called Thriving with Bipolar.
Mm.
Now, with that, it was just incredible because it just really made me resonate with everything that she was saying about the condition and how she copes with it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
really sparked a lot of inspiration. And I'm like, what can I do for myself and also
Mm.
the community, just so that people feel seen, people feel heard, and just to change, people's kind of like viewpoints on the
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's me in a nutshell.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you mentioned your strong background in broadcasting and media.
Yes.
How has that shaped the way that you communicate your advocacy and connect with people?
I would say working in media, it's been a journey because ultimately I've worked behind the scenes within the media industry
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
production manager. So that's a
Hmm.
lot of organizing, budgeting,
Mm,
scheduling, and all
true,
that kind of
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you are around a lot of talent and you
Mm,
are kind of trained to work and communicate in a specific way to ensure that there's no bias.
mm, mm,
I
mm,
would say in terms of that, I think that's helped with my communication skills clearly. But at
mm.
the same time, I think also the media like landscape in a generic sense
Yeah, yeah.
does really doesn't really portray bipolar in
Mm,
the
mm.
most realistic light, I
Okay,
believe. I
okay.
feel that it's very sensationalist and very like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, like Stacey from EastEnders or
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
manic
yeah,
episode, what
yeah,
should we
yeah,
do
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel that like there's people with bipolar who are actually, like coping. They're doing
Mm, mm,
well.
mm,
Why not
mm, mm,
show that and
mm,
then
mm.
like discuss how it can affect
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
very like tabloid newspaper. Oh no, a madman did this or
Mm,
whatever. And it's
mm,
like that's
mm.
what people and that like power of media that being communicated to people
Yeah,
that isn't
yeah.
necessarily like healthy. So luckily for me, my mind works and I think deeper than just kind of like what is portrayed to me. And obviously I have
Yeah,
experience as well.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, media, I've loved working in the industry.
Mhm, mhm,
It's a fantastic, dynamic
mhm,
industry.
mhm, mhm,
However, I just want to make more of an impact, more of a positive impact, as I
mhm,
feel that that lacks within the media landscape at the
mhm,
moment.
mhm. And well done to you for making that impact. And at what point did you feel that okay, now I'm ready to speak about living with bipolar?
I think I was actually being interviewed for roles a few
Okay,
years back
okay.
for media roles. And
Mm,
I remember not coming out sounds weird, but not coming out about my condition or disclosing
mhm,
it.
mhm,
And then I realized that I'm going to start disclosing it at interviews.
mm,
And then
mm.
it was like, I won't get any jobs. And then I was like, do you know what? I need to really kind of like speak out. And then I got in touch with Rethink Mental Illness, which is a
Okay.
charity
Yeah,
that
yeah.
effectively helps people with severe mental health conditions as a media volunteer. So I worked with them and they actually put me on a few media opportunities, and that included BBC One's Victoria Derbyshire show,
Okay.
where I was broadcasted live to like how many people? Like millions
Mm,
talking
mm.
about living with bipolar.
Wow.
And I was amongst actor
Mm,
and
mm,
BAFTA award-winning actor Adam
mm,
Deacon,
mhm,
who
mhm,
many people probably know is very known in the media eye when he had a breakdown and stuff like that.
mm,
It was very
mm,
public.
mm, mm.
And now, and he was awarded a BAFTA for his brilliant acting work.
Wonderful.
So I was sort of talking with him on set, and we was looking at his film that he did with Stephen Fry, who's also bipolar.
Okay.
So it was a fantastic experience, and things have led on from there. So I won an award because of my advocacy,
Mm, mm.
and yeah, I mean, I kind of flitter and flutter depending on how the condition affects me.
Yeah, yeah, I can
So
imagine.
sometimes I feel really strong to like
Yeah.
really speak
Mm.
openly about
Hmm.
it. And
Hmm.
other times I just get on with my life and I'm like, okay, I've got
Yeah,
bipolar, cool. But I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
scream and shout about it. But then there's
yeah.
sometimes where I'm like, actually, I'm in the mood to scream and shout about it. So it just depends on how I feel, really.
Good stuff, good stuff. So please, Georgina, help us to understand bipolar in a more human way. So for folks listening today who might not fully understand what bipolar is, please describe it in a real and human way.
So bipolar disorder, but we're going to call it bipolar
Mm,
because disorder isn't really the best way to look at
mm.
it because there's
Okay,
nothing
okay.
disorderly about
Mm,
it.
mm, mm,
Um, Bipolar is a mental health condition. It's a medical condition,
mm,
effectively, that affects the brain and how, as an individual, you operate.
mm,
Yeah. And
mm,
that includes thoughts, and thoughts obviously becomes feelings, feelings become actions.
mm.
And for me personally, I would say that I mean, I take medication every day. I take one
Okay.
tablet a day,
Mm,
and that's great for me. But I
mm,
would say in terms of the condition in itself, it's very intricate. That's why I believe it's a serious or severe mental health condition because
mm,
it can affect your thoughts, it can affect your sleep, like you said, like, just different patterns within, your life as an individual, it can
mm,
affect
mm,
you
mm, mm,
know? And for me, like sleep is a big thing. So
mm,
I'm a night owl and, I struggle sometimes with going to sleep in a routine.
mm, mm.
And that is down to my bipolar. Even though I do
Okay.
take medication,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
struggle with sleep.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then it affects my mood the next day because I've only had what 4 or 5 hours
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah, of course.
And then I feel low. So it's like a bit of a recurring cycle. And then you've also got like moods. So with moods, people think, oh, 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're sad, 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're
Mm,
sad.
mm,
And it's
mm.
like, no, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's literally about like you have a mood chart. Just say a normal person
Hmm.
would be if 0 was depressed and 10 was like ecstatically manic, as in like
Mm,
happy, fearless, doing the most. A normal person would be between like 6.57 and
mm,
3.54 on a
mm.
normal day. And it may go up and down
Yeah,
depending on what happens during that day.
yeah.
With a bipolar person, they will go to 0 to 10, maybe in the same day. That's called rapid cycling, I believe, when you're
Mm,
like low, then high,
mm,
then
mhm,
low,
mhm,
then high.
mhm,
Or you could just be like a 1 or a 2 for like weeks on weeks on end, which means you're severely depressed effectively.
mm,
Or you can be on a 9, 10, which means that you've just literally spent all of your money. You've got yourself in like how much worth of debt, and you're just
mm.
doing the most. You're
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
constantly like excited, ecstatic, doing like out of the ordinary things.
Mm,
For
mm,
me
mm,
personally, when I've been manic, like it feels great because
mm.
it's like, oh my gosh, like I feel good, I can do this, I can do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
life is
yeah.
great, and it's like,
Mm.
yay. But there needs to be, in terms of myself as someone with bipolar,
Yeah.
I need to check myself, and I do check myself, and medication does help.
Mm, mm, mm,
So there's that, and then obviously I have more highs than lows, but my lows are more kind of stable.
mm,
I have like a stable low at times, but that depends on whether I've gone out to have a drink or something might have triggered me in terms of like a traumatic event and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Also, what people need to recognize is people with bipolar disorder are more sensitive
Mm,
to things that happen. So, for
yeah.
example, grief or trauma or a
Mm,
big
mm,
life event,
mm,
you
mhm,
know, can
mm,
affect them internally
mm.
quite significantly.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's something to be aware of as well. And I
Okay.
would say as well, like I love myself and I love
Yeah,
being me.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
love the fact that, you know, I am bipolar.
Mm,
That's just
mm,
part of who I am.
yeah, yeah.
And, you know, people do say, oh, you know, you shouldn't be defined by bipolar. Bipolar isn't you. It's a separate, like,
True, true,
entity to who you
true.
are as a person.
Yeah.
But if I'm being real, how I see it is I have to embrace bipolar. I have to
Mm,
because I can't be in
mm,
denial of it. I can't shove it to the
yeah.
side and be like,
I hear you. Yeah.
okay, that's that, and I'm just going to
Mm,
do me because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
impossible. I have the
yeah.
condition, so I have to be like that. Do you
True,
get what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
I
yeah,
mean, because you can't. That's the way to manage it, really, isn't it? You know,
definitely,
if you ignore it, it's not. You're not managing it. Yeah, yeah,
definitely.
good. Yeah. Are there any common misconceptions that affect the way people with bipolar may see themselves or seek support? I know you mentioned Stacey earlier on in EastEnders. I remember watching. I used to watch EastEnders back.
Yes,
It's been a minute now, but I
yes,
think it was Stacey's mother. She
yes.
had
She
bipolar
had
first,
it as
didn't she?
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so and I remember, and I think that was my first kind of awareness towards bipolar and and how she was acting. Are there any
yeah.
misconceptions that were being portrayed in that character,
I think
or maybe Stacey's character?
I just think from what I know of EastEnders, because I haven't watched it for years, but I just remember when Stacey came out and it was just
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, she's got bipolar,
yeah,
everything's
yeah,
going
yeah,
like
yeah.
she's like walking around the square and she's like
Mm,
starting like you could just see her like the camera moving like that and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
That's when you go to like a psychosis stage. Do you get what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
not when you have bipolar, not everyone with bipolar experiences psychosis. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're not all like on that wavelength.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
me
yeah.
personally, I've experienced psychosis, so I resonate
Mm-hmm.
with that. But for
Yeah.
other people, they're lucky enough to have been diagnosed with the condition
Mm,
before
mm,
experiencing
mm, mm,
psychosis.
mhm.
So everyone has their own, remember, everyone's an individual.
Yeah,
So bipolar affects different people like differently, but it has the
different
same
ways.
symptoms.
Yeah.
But we're still individuals. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Yeah. And what is there that you wish that more people understood about what it can feel like to live with the condition on a day-to-day basis?
I just think society in general, like,
Mm,
I mean, bipolar isn't like the main headline of how society we live. Like,
yeah, yeah.
we're just people with bipolar. We're just one. I think it's like a billion of us in the world that have
Mm, mm,
bipolar,
mm,
which is quite high.
mm.
I believe. No, there's a billion of us in the world that have a mental health condition, whether
Okay.
that's bipolar, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, all the
Mm,
other type, like
yeah.
personality disorder, etc. There's a billion people in the world
Mm,
that have conditions. Yeah.
yeah.
So for so many people in the world to have some kind of mental condition, whether they're diagnosed or undiagnosed,
Mm,
that shows you that we as a society in the UK and globally, we need to just be more open about and talk about how we feel.
yeah, yeah,
You get what I mean?
yeah.
Like, even if you're struggling, like, like I get it. I've been there. There's a lot of people that have been there too.
Mm.
But it's like, if you feel strong enough to just deal with it and carry on your day to day and you don't want to disclose or say anything or go to your doctor and everything like that,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
Mm, mm,
But I just want to assure anyone who's listening,
mm,
it's like it's okay to go to the doctor, speak to a family friend, speak to a friend, family, cousin, auntie, whoever it is, to
mm.
just talk about how you feel. And the thing is, this is the thing. As Black people,
Yeah.
there's big cultural rubbish, and I'm going
Mm,
to say that quite controversially,
yeah, yeah.
that is like, oh, mad person and, you know, spiritual devil and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
definitely.
like, I'm a Christian, I believe in God. Yeah.
Mm, hmm.
And it's like, as far as I'm concerned, like it's a mental health condition.
Yes, it is.
Do you get what I mean?
Mm,
It's something with our brains
mm.
that like it affects the way that we think, feel, act, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all it is. The more
Mm, hmm.
knowledge and education that the Black community and the UK community and the world community with regards bipolar and mental
Hmm.
health in general would be a big thing for people with mental health conditions,
Yeah,
because it's like the more understanding, the more like there would be no stigma. Because, like, for
exactly.
example, like the weather. The other day, at 1 o'clock, it was hail.
Hmm.
1:05, it was sun. 1:10, hail. 1:05. Get what I mean? And people are like, oh, the weather's so bipolar. And it's like,
Oh, wow.
oh
Oh,
gosh,
wow.
like, yeah, I can laugh at it because it
Yeah,
doesn't affect me when people say that.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like, come on, guys.
It does sound very
I
sensitive though, doesn't it?
mean, yeah.
And you've touched on stigma in the Black community there, and I want us to kind of focus on that for a minute. So, in your view, what makes conversations around bipolar and mental health particularly difficult within the community?
I think lack of knowledge is literally
Mm,
lack
mm,
of knowledge and
yeah.
understanding
Mm,
about what the person who may have a condition be undergoing, their experiences,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also the
yeah.
lack of awareness around
Mm,
the Black community in regards to what they're seeing, hearing, and seeing in regards to that person who
yeah,
may have
yeah, yeah,
explained symptoms or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it boils down to. If
Awareness.
people understood, like, in schools, if they just taught well-being
Mm,
and mental health in schools, everyone
yeah,
would be like, oh, normal, no, 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 no.
absolutely. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
people just think, oh, mad person, or
Mm,
oh, like, it's just like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I talk about it, because it's
yeah,
like, I have no shame. Like, I have zero shame because it's part of who I am. And luckily, I'm actually the workplace that I work at, it's been disclosed to them. So,
yeah.
and they're really understanding, and they hired me specifically for my talents. And
Wow.
it's like, I feel so much better because, sometimes you might be a working professional and have bipolar
Yeah, yeah,
and be
yeah.
like, oh, I'm struggling to say anything and da 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 because people are going to
Mm,
think
mm,
like
mm.
that I can't do my job properly or X, Y,
Yeah,
and Z.
yeah, yeah.
I've done the graphs. I've struggled at work
Mm,
mentally.
mm.
I've done that all. And sometimes life is an experience. It's
Yeah.
about growth.
Mm,
And the more experiences that you have and the more that you learn about yourself, self-analyzing yourself,
mm.
the more you kind of understand certain things and then act accordingly. And like I said, everyone's an individual. So
Yeah,
everyone's gonna have their own thoughts and feelings about bipolar and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
for me, I'm just like, just own it. Like,
Mm,
I'm bipolar, I'm proud. Obviously,
hmm.
I don't have to scream it from the rooftops, even though I do.
Yeah.
But like, if you just kind of like own it or accept it at least,
Mm, hmm.
that's the first starting point. And I
Yeah.
recommend everyone buying Leah Charles's book. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's called Thriving with Bipolar. It's a fantastic book. I'm on chapter 8 at the moment. I think there's about
Mm,
21 chapters or something.
okay.
But I'm on the chapter at the moment and it's about stigma.
Mm, mm,
And, stigma, like, it's just, there's healthcare stigma,
mm.
like, even getting help from the NHS or privately or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's just so difficult.
Mm,
So it's been a
mm.
very good read.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And still on the stigma matter, have you seen how stigma or maybe stigma or silence or misunderstanding, how these things maybe delay support or leaving people feeling isolated?
Yes, 100%.
Mm,
So, with stigma and lack of support within the healthcare system and just in life in general,
Yeah.
it's tough for people with bipolar
Yeah. I
because
agree.
healthcare professionals don't know what they don't even know much. Well, they know, but you're just given medication and told to off you go. You have to fight for
Yeah.
support, for
Mm,
knowledge. You
mm, mm.
yourself, if you're struggling and you're trying to get diagnosis or what have you,
Yeah.
you yourself have to learn about it, fight about it,
Mm,
get the help that you need. You have to do it yourself because
yeah. Yeah.
the system isn't built to help people with bipolar or people with mental health conditions like us. So you have to do it yourself, fight for it yourself,
Yeah.
get the counseling, get the
Mm,
therapy, the psychiatrist, or whatever you need.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
speak to your doctor. If your doctor keeps
Mm,
saying no, 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 keep going back. Call
yes.
up, there's different charities. There's Bipolar UK. Call them up and explain what you're going through. They
Yeah.
can assist you
Yeah.
further.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on their website and read up about the condition. Go to like community groups like mine, Black and Bipolar Collective,
Mm,
like
mm,
others. There's things that you can be doing to like understand the condition and
of
get as
course.
much help and support as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you throw cultural misunderstanding into that equation,
Yeah.
it becomes more complex, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think with cultural misunderstanding, like as a black person, like you're gonna be like, oh, especially if you're severely unwell. Like if
Mm,
you're severely unwell and you're experiencing really bad symptoms and stuff like that,
mm,
then
mm.
you're gonna believe what the misinformation that you're being given by your
Yeah.
family and your
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
spiritual devil, God,
Yeah.
blah
Yeah.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
You're gonna believe it.
Mm, mm.
And it's like that's not necessarily the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Of
The truth
course.
is
Yeah. Without
you're
a doubt.
undergoing a lot of trauma, strain, symptoms
Yeah.
of the condition. Do you get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
spiritual
Yeah.
person anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So like I believe in God, I believe Jesus Christ died for our sins, everything
mm-hmm,
else.
mm-hmm,
But I also
mm-hmm.
believe that, we live in a world and, there are other things going on around us.
Yeah,
That's just
absolutely.
my personal belief.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But, as far as I'm concerned, like culturally, I just think as a community, black people, etc., we
Mm,
need to learn and understand about the condition and just talk.
mm,
Just talk.
mm,
If
mm.
anyone wants to contact me, you can contact me, Black and
Yeah.
Bipolar Collective on Instagram. You
Mm-hmm,
can contact me on Instagram, the real Georgina Bobb, Bobb.
mm-hmm.
Like, just drop me a DM
Yeah.
because it's like if you're struggling or you got a question about it or whatever, just reach out.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that reaching out is really, really important, isn't it? It's important that people see and hear voices that can reflect their own experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that like reaching out to someone and in terms of like symptoms and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
like you can like some of the symptoms is depending on how severe your condition is, you can
Mm,
hallucinate,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
can
Okay.
hear voices.
Okay, okay,
You
okay.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm,
So
mm.
it's like if you're on that spectrum,
Yeah.
what you do, you call 111
Hmm.
and you say mental health problem.
Okay,
And they will guide and assess you and blah, 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 blah. If
okay.
you're at that stage. If
Mm,
you're at
mm,
another stage where you're like, oh, I'm not getting up in the mornings or I'm finding it difficult at work and stuff like that, speak
mm,
to your doctor,
mm, mm,
speak to your GP.
mm,
You get
mm.
what I mean? Or if you're just kind of like worried or experiencing any type of symptoms, go to bipolar help groups. Do you get what I
Mm.
mean? There's
Yeah,
community
yeah.
groups. But I would say doctor, like medication
Mm,
is
mm.
fundamental for people's well-being
Okay,
who have the condition. And the
okay.
reason why I say that
Yeah.
is because without medication
Mm.
is very tough.
Is it?
It
Mm.
is. And
Does it help to manage the
yeah,
symptoms or? Mm,
it just keeps you
mm,
like on an even kill, shall I say.
mm,
So I still experience mania and I still
mhm,
experience depression.
mhm, mhm,
But with my medication,
mm,
it just makes life more manageable. And that's
mm.
what medication does. It makes
Okay.
life more manageable for
Mm,
people
mm.
experiencing symptoms of bipolar, you know?
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah,
there are
yeah.
people that are like, but there's holistic ways. If you eat certain foods, if you do
Mm,
certain things,
mm, mm, mm.
cool, I get it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think around about 2020, I think I had COVID or something like that.
Hmm.
And I was like, I was so ill. I was like, I'm not even taking my medication. I'm so ill. And I was like, maybe if I come off my medication,
Mm.
like it could be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been on the same medication since 2012. I have not changed it once.
Well.
But saying that,
Mm.
I've never, ever gone back to hospital. I've never had a relapse.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it
Yeah,
works.
yeah, absolutely. Of course it
Don't
does.
fight the medication. Just
Mm.
take it, your one tablet, your two tablet, whatever you're taking,
Whatever it is. Yeah,
just
yeah,
take it. Because, and
yeah.
the thing is, what people get twisted in the Black community is,
Mm.
oh, you're on meds, oh, this and that. Excuse me.
Mm.
Number one, you take tablet for contraception, you take
Yeah,
tablet for headache, you take
yeah,
tablet
yeah,
for, do you
yeah,
get what
yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah,
it's the
of
same
course. Yeah,
thing.
same thing. Yeah. If I was taking tablets for a physical condition, maybe I
Yeah,
hurt my leg, you wouldn't look at me any other way, would you? You know.
exactly.
Mm.
So it's just
Yeah,
changing the mindset,
yeah.
changing your thoughts and
Mm.
opinions on bipolar, the stigma.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah. You've mentioned the workplace a couple of times. Is any particular support that folks might get from the workplace, or how the
Yeah,
workplace might
so
support people
it
with the
depends on how
condition?
big the organization is that you work in.
Mm, mm,
So for me, in the media industry and the broadcasting industry, it is very, very there's lack of HR.
mm, mm, mm.
So
Yeah.
you don't really get support unless your team, like whoever you're reporting to, is aware of your
Mm.
condition and they will
Okay.
just support you, but there's no training around it.
Yeah.
However, there is a charity in TV and film called the TV and Film Charity that does look
Mm,
at mental health within the TV and media industries. So I would
mm.
say if you work in that industry, they're really good people to contact.
Okay.
But I would also say if you're outside of the television and film industry,
Mm.
I would say other places you can contact would be your HR department.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they have a mental health and well-being thing going on, I would assume.
Mm.
But from my personal career experience,
Mm.
I've never had any support whatsoever
Wow. Wow.
regarding
Yeah. Yeah.
mental health. But I would say
Mm.
for anyone who work in other industries,
Mm.
go to your HR department and
Yeah.
they and just see what they can do. Because
Yeah.
some on your contract, you might have extra benefits like free counseling sessions and stuff like that, private
Yeah.
healthcare, blah 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 blah. So just look
Yeah.
and see what there is out there, you know?
Mm. But what about if there's that fear that, oh, I might talk to HR now and they might want to try and find a way to get rid of me, you know? You think people might be going through
100%.
that kind of fear?
Yeah, and I think that fear
Mm,
is very like relevant, you know,
mm,
because
mm,
anyone would think the same.
mm.
And I think as an individual, if you're like, weighing up whether you should do it or not,
Mm.
I would say you yourself have to make the best decision for you. So if you get the vibe and it's not your bipolar telling you this, it's you saying, do you know what? I know that this HR person don't like me anyway. So if I tell them they're not going to do nothing, then
Yeah.
don't do it.
Then
But
you're
if
right.
you feel that, professionally, like if I go to the HR person and they'll be able to help, then do. Do you
Yeah,
get what
yeah,
I mean? But
absolutely,
ultimately, the
absolutely.
decision lies with you. But I do want to just say that it really does, it's really important to get as much help as you can.
Of
So
course.
yeah, I wouldn't
Absolutely.
shy away from doing that.
Yeah, good. So let's talk about the birth of Black and Bipolar Collective. So what inspired you to create this Black and Bipolar Collective?
So I birthed Black and Bipolar
Mm.
Collective from going to Leah Charles's King's events.
Okay.
So the Thriving with Bipolar book launch was
Mm.
such an inspirational event. It really made me think, do you know what? What
Mm.
can I do? What can I do? Like,
Mm.
I look up to Leah Charles King very highly.
Hmm.
And I was like, this woman is a black woman
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is done well in her industry. She's
Mm.
a presenter. She's been
Mm.
on mainstream channels,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
she's
Mm-hmm.
so open and
Mm.
honest
Mm.
about bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
She's an ambassador for the Bipolar UK charity, and she's written a book.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
I'm like, nah,
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
gal, do you get
Mm.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
actually doing bits.
Yeah.
So I'm
Wonderful.
like, for me, like Georgina Bobb, like you've done
Mm.
X, Y, and Z, da, 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 da. What are you doing?
Mm. Mm.
I can't just be getting on with life and being like, oh, I have bipolar, but whatever. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Like,
Mm.
why not be a Leah? Why
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
do
Absolutely.
what you can do?
Mm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
for me, but for the Black community.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about the
Yes.
Black community,
Mm. Mm.
getting equality in all levels of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as someone with bipolar, for me, I'm like, well, why not do a collective for people who are Black and bipolar?
Mm. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
ultimately, we're treated less fortunate than those others
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
have the same condition.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's like, I have to do a space for us, you know?
Wonderful. And please tell us about this space. What exactly is the Black and Bipolar Collective?
So it's a community group for people with people who are Black and bipolar, and we meet up every month. Our first meetup is on the 8th of June. You can find tickets on Eventbrite,
Okay.
or you can view it on my Instagram page, which is Black and Bipolar Collective. On the Eventbrite, basically you book your ticket, it's free, it's online, and we are a peer group. So it's
Mm,
about peer
mm,
support. So it's
mm,
literally like we're not therapists or anything like that. There might be
mm-hmm.
therapists that might attend that
Yeah.
who are Black and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But it's generally talk, social discussion
Mm,
around how are you feeling?
mm,
How is the condition affecting you? Relating to each other, sharing knowledge, and supporting one another.
mm,
You
mm.
know, we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
professionals in helping people with,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get what I mean? But we
Yeah.
can just come together as a community and like take it from there and support each other. Because I believe support and understanding
Mm,
is
mm.
fundamental to a person's kind of like
Absolutely.
wellness,
Mm,
especially
mm.
when you have the
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what does a safe space really mean to you, especially for Black individuals living with bipolar?
That's a good question. A safe space effectively is a place where you can be yourself and not care or think about anything else.
Yeah.
And that's what Black and Bipolar Collective is. It's a
Yeah.
safe space.
Hmm.
Come as you are. If you feel
Yeah.
mash up, come.
Mm, just
If you
come.
feel happy, come. If you feel manic, come. If
Yeah.
you feel
Yeah.
normal, come. If you
Mm,
like, just be yourself and talk up the things.
yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah.
about. It's not like you're not going to come and attend and be
Mm,
like, you have to actually engage with the group.
engage. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about us
Yeah.
relating to each other. You never know,
Mm,
you
mm.
might even have the same interests or businesses or whatever you're doing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just about us coming together as a community and
Mm,
supporting one another.
yeah. 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 Awesome. Awesome. So it's about conversations,
Yes,
connections,
yes.
support within it. I think that's really, really a very good gesture. And have there been any moments through the collective that reminded you why this work matters?
That's a good question. To
Mm,
be fair, like my first one's on the 8th of June. So
okay.
I'm yet to explore that side of things. But once I have my first one,
Yeah.
I will see. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
But
yeah.
even just
Of
me
course.
promoting
Yeah.
like what we're about and what we do, I've had a lot of good feedback already. So
Wonderful.
I'm just gonna keep pushing and
Mm,
building a community, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger and more
mm,
people know about it and we can all rise together as
mm,
Black
mm.
people with bipolar and
Yeah.
just support each other, you
Yeah.
know? It's
Absolutely.
really important.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And before we move on, please just say once again how people can get in touch and find out more about the collective or how they can get tickets.
So it's on Eventbrite, Black and Bipolar Collective, and also on Instagram, Black and Bipolar Collective.
Okay.
So follow, click on the link, book the tickets. It's on the 8th of June at 7 p.m. online. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to
Mm.
be really positive, but it's going to be also real.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think when you've got bipolar, it's easy to be like, I'm positive all the time. And realistically, you're just struggling. Like
Mm, mm,
I like to keep the vibes high,
yeah,
but obviously, if you're struggling, it's okay. Let's talk. Do you get what
yeah,
I mean?
of
Because we
course,
all
of course.
understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk a bit about your lived experience, and how has your own lived experience taught you about strength, about self-awareness, and about healing also.
You have to be resilient.
Mm,
You have to be resilient. For me personally, I'm the type of person, I really don't give a F
yeah, yeah.
about what anyone thinks about me as
Mm.
an individual. And
As
I
a
know
person.
that can be quite like people can take that in a certain way.
Mm.
But when you get to know me, you understand that I'm just who I am. And I just want
Mm.
to help people.
Yes.
And I think as individuals, we need to come together and kind of like understand and remember community and remember that life is good.
Mm.
Life is good. Do you get what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have to have that mindset. And I think that bipolar can be caused from different things. It can be
Yeah.
genetic, it can
Mm-hmm.
be circumstantial,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z.
Mm.
But I think that everyone's got their own story, their own journey,
Yeah. Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. But I
Mm.
feel that like you have to be not strong because everyone's strong,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you might not even feel strong
Yeah. Yeah.
if you've got the
Yeah.
condition. Do you get
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
have to feel like you have to just have your self analysis on yourself and know
Yeah.
yourself and represent yourself in the best way possible and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
understand your symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's as
Yeah.
simple as that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just keep positive when you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm assuming that it's also about the support that a person, has
Yes.
access to, isn't it? And what does support look like? What does support look like in a meaningful way for someone living with bipolar?
I think support is there's different streams of support. Number
Mm,
one, which I think is important, is supporting yourself. You have to support yourself. There's days I'm in my house and I just do me.
yeah.
I just do me because I know
Mm,
that's the mind frame that I'm in and I'm
yes.
doing me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to talk to no one. No, it
Mm,
doesn't mean that I'm depressed or anything like that. But for my mind, I
mm-hmm.
know my mind is a certain way. So
Yes.
best I'll just do me and relax and chill. Do you
Right.
get what I mean?
Gotcha.
But I would
Mm.
say, sorry, go back to your question again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's about support. What does support
Support.
look like?
So you
Yeah.
need to support yourself and
Mm,
understand yourself. And also support means
mm,
reaching out to friends and family.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Friends, or even if like your family don't understand or your friends don't understand, someone that can like understand. That's why the Black and Bipolar Collective is important because you can be like secret bipolar, yeah, and
Yeah.
you can come and just meet everyone and
Yeah.
just talk. Do you
Yeah,
get what I
yeah,
mean? And I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes all the difference.
Yes, it does. I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, good stuff. All right, good. So you and friends or family, what do they need to be aware of if someone around them is living with the condition?
I think they need to just be understanding, number
Mm,
one, like
mm,
understanding, do your homework as well.
mm,
Know about the
mm.
condition and how it
Yeah,
affects that
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Know
I
about
like
it
I
so you
like
can
that. Do your
support them
homework. Yeah,
effectively.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You got like if you've got like I don't know your niece or your nephews come up to you and said, "Oh, I've got
Mm,
bipolar, blah blah blah."
mm-hmm,
Don't be
mm-hmm.
like, "Oh no," like okay, well, you're right. That's nice
Mm,
to do that and, make sure that they're okay.
yeah,
But
yeah,
learn about the condition and then have a discussion. Do you know what I mean? Support
yeah,
them, bring them to
yeah,
different
yeah,
places or like doctors, whatever, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
about having that knowledge. Because
Mm,
when I was
mm,
growing up, even though I had mental health in my family, I wasn't supported.
mm,
I
mm.
wasn't supported. So, and I think I'm just the type of person, like if I'm doing something, I'm doing it. If I
Yeah,
feel that
yeah,
Like, do you get what I mean? So
mm,
I think that it's about the mindset. If you're bipolar, it's your mindset. You have to control what you think and feel every day.
yeah,
Don't let the
yeah,
condition control that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
important.
yeah, absolutely. And so for someone who might be struggling in silence or maybe feeling misunderstood right now, what would you say to them?
I would say, number one, um, it's okay.
Mm,
Like it genuinely is okay. Number two, you're normal.
mm,
Like
mm,
it's normal to feel like this. It probably doesn't make sense because you're like, but I got bipolar. How am I normal? But it's normal. Like
mm,
it's not okay.
yeah,
And number three, like, like, go through your thoughts and your feelings. Like it's okay
yeah,
to just
yeah,
be how you feel.
yeah,
Take
yeah,
notes. Take
mm,
notes of how
mm,
you're feeling and thinking,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and speak to someone or journal or talk to someone, talk to a doctor or what have you. Do you
yeah,
get what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's okay, you know?
Mm, mm. Something that I actually wanted to ask earlier on. I know you mentioned grief, like kind of like triggers to maybe to an episode. You mentioned grief, didn't you?
Yes.
Or trauma. Any other things that might trigger off an episode?
Weather. So
Okay.
when spring comes,
Mm,
bipolar people get manic. So it's
okay.
like the sun's out,
Mm.
yay! Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
everyone, and then when it gets like
Mm.
back to winter, it's like, oh.
Oh, I can
So it's
imagine.
like
Yeah.
that can be another thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then also alcohol sometimes,
Okay.
like
Okay.
drugs and stuff like that
Yeah,
can
yeah.
affect.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say in general, weather would be the only one really, I think, from my experiences.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good stuff. And as we begin to kind of wrap up the conversation, what do you hope that people take away, both from your work and from the wider conversation about bipolar?
That it's okay. Never give up.
Mm,
You
mm,
are the best. Be bipolar and proud.
mm, mm,
Learn
mm,
about your condition. Speak about it to your loved ones. And just be you. Life is good. It's okay.
mm, mm, mm,
It's
mm,
okay.
mm, mm,
Like I'm
mm.
here smiling. Like it's okay. You know?
Yeah,
I'm in a
yeah,
good mood now, but I'm
yeah,
saying like
yeah, yeah.
even if it's not okay, I
Mm,
know that I'm okay.
mm,
Does that
mm,
make
mm.
sense?
Yeah,
God is
yeah, of
good.
course. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And any particular changes that you would like to see within the Black communities, in workplaces,
Yeah.
or how services respond to people?
100%. There needs to
Mm,
be much more, even the doctors, like the nurses, even
mm,
the
mm.
protocols of
Yeah,
finding,
yeah.
of getting someone sectioned
Mm,
or
mm.
getting someone help in terms of diagnosis. That all needs to change
Mhm, 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 mhm,
because
mhm.
it took me to have a public episode of
Mm.
psychosis. I knew there
Yeah,
was something wrong, so I
yeah,
walked to the
yeah,
hospital
yeah. Okay.
whilst in my psychosis because I knew
Right.
something was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But what
mm.
I'm saying is to stop people from doing that and to stop others from experiencing psychosis,
Yes.
nip it in the bud from early.
Mm, mm,
Do you get
mm.
what I mean? And by
Yeah.
that, that means if doctors or nurses, if a patient comes to you and
Mm,
says, "Oh, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that," you know when
mm.
people screen for anxiety and depression, and then they're
Yeah,
like, "We'll
yeah.
give you like antidepressants or whatever."
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Screen for bipolar. Screen for
Mm,
all
mm,
mental health
mm, mm,
conditions
mm, mm,
before you just
mm.
get, oh, you got depression and then you end up
Yeah,
having bipolar.
yeah.
Screen for all conditions and
Mm,
take
mm.
people seriously about how they feel.
Absolutely, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
the system is, the thing is, like, if you have psychosis, yeah, like if you get sections or whatever,
Mm, mhm,
it's a
mhm.
big palaver.
I
It's
can
a big
imagine.
palaver. You
I
get
can imagine.
treated like you're some.
Criminal, even worse.
Criminal,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
worst people in
yeah.
the world.
Mm.
Like there was a time, yeah, where I was like pushed down head first, like
Wow,
on the floor,
wow.
handcuffed. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right now I'm having a psychosis. Like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
isn't helping me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I look back on it, I'm like,
Mm,
I'm not gonna hurt anyone. At the moment,
mm.
my mind's just out of control. I'm not gonna
Yes.
hurt anyone. So
Mm.
why are you treating me like that?
Yeah.
That's the system. And it
Mm.
needs to
To
change.
change. Yeah,
You get what I
yeah.
mean?
System needs to change. Absolutely. For a person going through those kind of episodes, any particular symptoms that they might want to look out for
Yeah, so hearing
before? Yeah.
voices,
Okay.
hallucinating,
Mm.
racing thoughts, lack of sleep,
Mm.
um, like delusional thoughts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thinking something bad's happening to you
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even manic, like overspending ridiculously, or like doing things that are out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Like imagine like if you're walking down the road and you say hello to every single person along that road. Hi. Like that's how you know you're on going
Okay.
towards that. Do you know what I mean?
Potential
No,
symptoms.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying no one say hi to anyone, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
No, I
giving you an
totally get you.
example.
Totally
Yeah,
understand what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Good
So
stuff. Yeah. Well. Thank you so much, Georgina. I think this has been such an important conversation, not just about bipolar as a condition, but about identity, particularly about culture, support, courage, and the power of lived experience. So, for anyone listening, the key message is that understanding really matters, language matters, and nobody should have to struggle in silence.
that's it.
Georgina, before I let you go, please leave one final word for the listeners.
Okay. I just want to say, like I said before, it's
Mm,
okay. And as Black people, we need to come together as a community and understand mental health conditions,
mm,
really understand them and remove all the rubbish
mm,
that is in some of our heads about mental health.
mhm, mhm,
We're okay. We're normal. All
mm.
it is we just think a little differently or we
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
symptoms. We don't think differently,
yeah,
but the
yeah,
symptoms come to us. Like, for instance, if you have a headache, you have pain in your head. That's a
yeah,
symptom.
yes, yes,
It's the
yes.
same thing. Look at things differently. Come
Mm,
together as a community. Support your
mm,
friends, family, and loved ones.
mm, mm,
Get
mm,
what I
mm,
mean?
mm, mm, mm,
That is
mm.
it.
All righty, all righty. Thank you so much, Georgina. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking time out, coming
Oh,
on the show. And yeah, just wishing you all the best.
thank you.
Personally, professionally, on
Thank
your
you.
upcoming event. And please, just one more time, do let the listeners know how they can get in touch with you, how they can find out more about your work.
So on Instagram, it's Black and Bipolar Collective. And also on Instagram, if you want to contact me directly, it's the real Georgina Bobb, Bobb. And then also, if you want to register for the event, which is the Black and Bipolar Collective Real Talk community event, it's online, it's a discussion where people who are Black and bipolar can come together and relate, support each other, talk. That is on Eventbrite, and it's also linked on my Instagram, and it's on June 8th.